banning transgender women from participating in women's sports. It's the latest executive order from President Trump targeting transgender people in America, and he's expected to sign it any moment, and we will take that live when it happens. The ACLU already suing the Trump administration over a different EO that actually blocks gender-affirming care for minors. It states that for many transgender adolescents, the onset of puberty leading to physical changes in their bodies that are incongruent with their gender identities can cause extreme distress. Harper Seldin, a staff attorney for the ACLU, is leading that legal battle. So, Harper, you were listening to the White House briefing there. A number of questions about banning transgender women from participating in women's sports. We heard how the White House has described the executive order. Let's go back to that moment that Caroline Leavitt really, I guess, directly addressed how this administration feels about it.
The president will be signing an executive order keeping men out of women's sports to defend the safety of athletes, protect competitive integrity, and uphold the promise of Title IX. This common sense action from President Trump ends the disgusting betrayal of women and girls by the previous administration.
Two questions. Are you going to file another lawsuit? And what's your reaction to what the press secretary just said?
Well, thanks for having me. This is part of the Trump administration's attempt for an unlawful grab of power across the federal government so that he can target families like those that we're suing on behalf of the case Trump v. PFLAG v. Trump. This is part of a wide range of attacks on the trans community everywhere in their lives, their passports, their athletic fields, schools, and now their doctors' offices. And it's not just minors who are targeted by this executive order that we've sued over. It's also adults. This targets trans young people who are 18 years old, who also are not able to get the medical care that they and their doctors agree they need.
Supporters of this order say that transgender women are men and should not be playing in women's sports because they have an unfair advantage. We heard that hammered home at the White House briefing as well. What do you say to them?
Again, I would say that this is part of demonizing a small group of people in the United States to distract us from other unlawful power grabs across the federal government. Trans people belong in every community, in every family, in every school. And so demonizing them is not part of, I think, the American promise.
Tell us more about your lawsuit already filed against the order on gender-affirming care. Why do you think that that is a crucial fight to take on at this time?
If you look at our lawsuit, it's about loving parents and their children who, after hard conversations as a family and with their doctors, have decided that this medical care is what their children need to grow up and to thrive. And so the idea that President Trump is going to come into doctors' offices and tell these loving parents that he knows better and to erase the existence of these transgender young people, that's what this case is about.
What are you advising the trans community now to do in the meantime, Harper, as this slew of actions against the Trump administration continues to take against transgender people?
Now is the time for trans people to be in community with one another. Our strength comes from our community. The government can't take away our identity. It can't take away the power of our community. And so I'm encouraging everyone to hold each other close and to be together through this time.
Harper Seldin, appreciate your time.